against the local Tuskers, Sri Lanka. Japan yesterday 46-0 over Korea and 31-7 over Hong Kong. And they're looking to close this group out. The Sri Lankans went down 29-0 to Hong Kong before beating Korea 26-10. And, well, household names across the park there for Japan. And surprisingly, it's not the rock stars Susumi scoring all the tries, but it's definitely Nakamura and co. And they are on a destiny for a semi-final against Kazakhstan, which will be an absolute beauty. Sri Lanka, though, the big improvers across the series over the last couple of years. Phoenix Xu from China. 4 years refereeing for her. Never actually played rugby, but she still plays football.
Okay, so you're ready?
Picked up rugby refereeing during her university days and does a great job as a referee, just improving as well as both these sides. And there's a shabby old start to the game, but it doesn't matter. Here goes Kozasa, one of the big, powerful forward runners for Japan. And Japan looking to try and get into the final, sew up the series, clean sweep. I think it's going to be a good final, though, whoever they're up against. An early mistake there, so knock on scrum relief for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, good defence by Sri Lanka there. The Tuskers getting across and putting Japan on fair notice that, well, they may be able to find the gaps and get some space. Casually running through this Tusker line is not going to really happen. And Sri Lanka possessing enough pace to stay with them. And when the targets are close like that in terms of tackling, Tuskers can do the job. All very unlucky to get tripped up there.
Yeah, Kumari Dilrukshi, we haven't seen much of her at all. A rare start for her. Look out in the Sri Lankan side, of course, for number 7, Dulani. Hasn't had many opportunities over the weekend. She's got 10 tries for the series. Second highest try scorer. She gets the ball with a bit of space. She can smoke anybody. Good counter ruck from Dasuni De Silva. Looks like the Sri Lankans really running out their bench players in this match. Probably not holding much hope of getting in the road of Japan. They're looking to build momentum for their later games in the bottom half of the 8. Finish as high as possible. They're running 5th on the table at the moment. Very much improved. Considering, you know, they're ahead of teams like Singapore, Thailand, Korea, and not too far behind Hong Kong on the ladder. Hirano with the feed.
Wrong bending.
The binding issue there, says Phoenix Xu. Hirano with the ball there. 2 minutes 20 in and Japan not on the board yet. That won't matter as Tateyama feeds it out to Kurogi. And that's Nagata. Japan also giving their bench players a lot of starts here. Running straight is Hirano. Just gets the arm on and the beautiful out the back of the hand to Kozasa. And that's good support from the forward there. Getting on the outside. She was still over that side from the scrum. And as usual, they look pretty cheerful and happy with their efforts there. Third try of the tournament.
Yeah, well taken try by Japan. They're playing deliberately, trying to keep the width on Sri Lanka. Make Sri Lanka's defence try and mark up on them. Gazoza too powerful close to the line, but you just see the superb ball handling from Japan as the extra 2 points is added. Seems like a bit of a lackadaisical start for Japan, but I'm pretty sure they'll be under instructions. Let the ball do the work. Check out these running lines. Hirano, always the attacking option. Beautiful offload there. They've got all the skills. They've got the full package, Japan. And as well as all the physical aspects, they're very, very skillful and intelligent.
Yumi Okaroda with the restart. Puts that one a couple of metres too deep. one of the masters of restarts.
Well,
Some possession now for Sri Lanka. Oh my goodness, Okuroda comes in like an absolute train there.
balloon not go first.
Well read from the
Balloon
skipper.
not go first, sorry.
Forces the turnover there. When that red and black headgear on, it was like a heat-sensitive missile. Have a look at this. They're a bit static anyway, aren't they?
Bumfer. I think we'll just have to give it the old bumfer.
All same bending. All right. 12.
Sri Lankans
Okay,
just
line.
sitting targets there, really flinging it out wide. No one coming on to the ball.
Six.
Good harrying at the base of the scrum by Kumari Dilrukshi. Doing it the hard way through Thikshana. And going around the outside is Riho Kurogi. Dots it down in the corner. It was a little bit scruffy from that scrum, but same result. Try number 2 for Japan now. They start to ease their way into day 2 here. Second try of the tournament for her.
Japan can rest assured they know that the points are going to come. They really do seem like they're in energy conservation mode at the moment. It's a hot day today, so a lot of effort will be drained just by operating under the sun. And with serious challenges on the horizon for Japan, such as China, Kazakhstan, and possibly to a lesser extent Hong Kong, everybody will be wanting to take a little bit of bark off this Japanese tree. And they're going to have to go well. That's one thing to perhaps score against Japan. Beating them, well, it could be a different thing altogether.
Okuroda gets that one nicely. 10 metres and about 30 extra centimetres there. And the Sri Lankans, no one was interested. They just let it hit the turf. They'll have a line out on about their 10-metre. That's one of the areas in both the men's and the women's and the bottom half teams, just the ability to deal with the restarts. Gifting possession back after scoring a try. They win their own line out though. They're up high. Eventually they get it to ground. Bit of a struggle. Look at the competitiveness there of Ito just trying to march her way over the top, and
What? Green, use it. Green.
Sri Lanka
11, use it.
not doing enough there to secure that possession. Look at that Japanese
Take
defence
off.
come up, herring up on the outside. There it is again, just left with no option but to come back towards the traffic. That was Kumari Dilrukshi, just still stuck on that 10-metre line. Another big hit comes in from Tateyama. Running backwards now, Nadika. She just has no option. The hoot is gone, so she boots it out, and that is half-time. A measured effort there from some of the Japanese players getting some game time here outside the top 7, so they take a 12-0 until half-time against Sri Lanka.
Well, we're not seeing anything flash from Japan, and I kind of like it like that. It just shows that even though they're a quality outfit with 2 tournament wins, they're still willing to consider what's in front of them. The team's just not willing to think about too much of what's happening in the future as we see these opening tries in the first half for Japan. Only 2 of them, which will be considered maybe, well, surprising. But you can sense with Japan, they have got a higher purpose. They know they're going to go late into this tournament. They know they're going to receive some very stiff challenges from Kazakhstan and China at some point in this tournament. And they want to be ready. They've rested their top guns to bring out the working parts of their squad, give them time, give them exposure, while at the same time they're playing tactically very, very sound sevens. Such a clever team. Well coached, well managed. And on the pitch, well, you can't say enough about them. They play the game in tremendous spirit. Greetings to Sharif Zain, an ex-member of the Scorpions Club, and also a very good morning to Nasanka. The weather in Colombo is nothing short of stunning. Absolutely gorgeous weather. It'll be warm out there as well. Hello to Malcolm Pratt and Hugh Watkins, the whistling supremo of Asia.
Who, Malcolm Pratt?
No.
Thank you. Welcome officials checking in on your charges. They've been well behaved. Here comes Sri Lanka up to the 10 metre. For them, it's all about setting up the best position possible as they go into the bottom 4 and getting themselves a favourable draw in the bottom 4 so that they can probably at best look at 5th spot in this tournament and probably end up 5th on the log for the whole series. Yesterday, they had a good win against the Koreans, 26-10. Really showed that they can score some good tries. It was pretty close, that game, for the first sort of 10 minutes or so, and they came away with it. You'll notice that players like Dulani not out there for Sri Lanka, saving them for their higher purpose later on in today. They know they're not going to beat Japan. They do know that they can take 5th spot, though, where they'll be up against the likes of Thailand, Singapore, Korea. Here's Kumari Dilrukshi on the 10 metre line now, inside Japanese territory in the second half. They go to the front, a cheeky one, into the hands of Wasana. That's well worked by the Sri Lankans. Now they're very wide and very deep, but that just makes the Japanese come up even faster, who cross that field, floating across the grass there. They 20 metres between them and the back line, and they get up there and they swallow about 15 of that 20, put Sri Lanka back in their own half, and they win the scrum. See some of these Sri Lankans coming on to the ball. They're just all taking it static and sitting targets. There's no subterfuge, no complexity about what they're trying to do. They're just trying to rely on getting it to a speedster as quick as possible. Harano now fires one out. Gets into the hands of Kurogi. Ito now flicks it out to Pativa Kalolo. The Japanese starting to roll their bench. Here is Nagata with the pink headband on. Passes it off out of the back of the hand to Nagata. She's dragging them to the trial, and oh, she couldn't quite reach out. She tries to let go. Pick it up again. Phoenix Shoe's happy with that. It was a little bit messy and could have been scrutinised, I guess, but right on the spot, referee Shoe, she awards the try to Hana Nagata.
Well, we make mention of it again and again, exactly how intelligent these Japanese rugby players are. And the thinking rugby player is the most dangerous of them all. Even under fatigue conditions, Japanese players, they're still thinking, they're still reacting. It just goes to show how well they play the game, not just in how fit they are, but just how well they understand the rules, how well they understand the gameplay. As we watch the final moments here, tackled, places, releases, and goes again. And that all happened almost within the blink of an eye. Great skills for anybody or any of the youngsters at home watching these ladies play. That's the level of ability that you need to attain.
They're bringing on the rock stars now. Nakamura's on there. Look at her. She's in on that ball, and she's a rock, and there's Kurogi, actually. There's Nakamura. Just comes on and starts operating the game. Pativa Kalolo steps off the left, puts the fend on, comes around. Another good try to her. She's not known for scoring a lot of tries, but this tournament she's managed to pick a few up. Third try of this tournament.
Well, almost like an active warm-up here now for Japan as they start swapping out some of their up-and-comers with some of their proven players. Conversion attempt unsuccessful. As we watch Nakamura, again, quick play. And an easy one for Japan, courtesy of Pate Vakalolo.
Time out.
Okaroda's off the field, the skipper, so kicking duties handed over, and a couple of inches short there of the 10. Come back to the spot. 22-0, minute and a half remaining.
Just a word on those conditions. If there's anything, it looks like that breeze might have just strengthened a little bit. Running from left to right, so at the backs of the Sri Lankans.
Nakamura's all over that one.
Two.
It's like a sentinel. Oh, yellow card, in fact. That's not going to help, so they'll finish this game with 6, Sri Lanka. Japan, they have no need to really score more points here. It's all about now just building momentum. Ah, what a line there from Kurogi. Nakamura calls her in. Queen Bee lays one on for Riho Kurogi.
Green.
And what a line.
Well, it was almost like air traffic control, wasn't it? Calling in the fast air. Nakamura playing the deceiver up front, ball in hand. The Sri Lankans, it was all eyes on her. And Japan take the easy 2-point conversion. Just that quick ball again. The ability to hit the line at pace and with timing, it just comes with consistent selection. And the Japanese women keep the show rolling. And they quietly meander their way up to almost, well, to 29 points to 0. Referee Shu will bring them back for a short arm restart. So the Tuskers get one more chance to chance their arm at scoring in front of their home fans. They've been seriously outclassed here by Japan. And there's a counter ruck from the 2 tournament winners, and they just keep flooding the channel. They've made life absolutely impossible for the Tuskers today. They've had very little look at the ball unless it's been sat on the ground behind their goalposts. And Japan end the game. It's been a no fuss, no bother match between these two, as Japan congratulate Sri Lanka. And the final score, Japan 29, Sri Lanka 0, the Asia Rugby 7